Machedo speaking to you from Machedo.com. Who's Machedo and think personal branding. Alright, this is a video which is not normally like the other videos that I normally put up. Normally I speak about Dubai, personal branding, about jobs in the Middle East, but this one is more like a movie review for Avengers, primarily because I'm an Avengers fan, and also because, fans like me like to share their opinion. So, if you are not a movie fan or not an Avengers fan, this video is not for you. And also, if you are an Avengers fan or a movie fan, please note that this is a spoiler-filled review. So if you didn't watch the movie first and then watch this review. If you have not seen the movie. However, if you have seen the movie, please do watch the review. Read the notes that I put down below. I put the link to my website with everything in detail. And let me know your thoughts, because I always like to get opposing thoughts. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, or if you think the same way as I do, or you think totally something else, I always like to hear. So, having said that, let's quickly move on to the Avengers movie review. Now, the title of this review would be more or less that Avengers is not a great movie. It's not a timeless movie, but it's a good movie. Now, I'll give you the reasons why I say that, why Avengers is a good movie and not a great movie. Now, let's start off with, Avengers, the final chapter. I don't want to go through the whole 10 years. The final chapter started off, I think, close to, let's say, a month, whereby YouTube started putting out these, trailers, teaser trailers. The one thing that I noticed, which I'm pretty sure all the fans noticed, is the trailers were more or less the same. There was nothing new, or there was nothing new added up. Even though the titles were kind of different, they said that some of them, wanted to bait or hook the viewer by saying, wow, extra footage, or this is what happens. But when you saw the trailer, it was more or less the same thing. Tony Stark sending the message, and, right at the beginning, you think that, oh, he's going to die. And then the Avengers having their last stand. So I just felt that, okay, why are they giving out the plot of the movie that Tony Stark is going to die? And also having known that this was more or less going to be the last movie for Tony Stark, for the Avengers. So I was like, are they giving out the plot? Are they giving out the story? But then that was it. There was nothing very aggressive. There was nothing like, you must watch this movie. And obviously, the one thing that I was really glad, the Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw. If you watch the trailer of Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw, that is, I think, the 9th installment or something of Fast and Furious. Correct me if I'm wrong. They give out the entire bloody movie in that trailer. And it's like some of the trailers are 6 minutes long. And they give out the entire movie. I mean, what's the point of even, releasing the movie when they're giving out the trailer? However, for Disney's Avengers, especially this one, there was still this suspense, like, what is it about? How are they going to get, the Avengers back? What is the plot? What is the script? Yes, we did know that the heroes would win the battle in the end. We did know that, yes, the heroes will come back, but how? And, there was always this 50-50%. Would the heroes come back? Would the heroes not come back? Okay. Now, I think my friend said it best, Joe Alexander. He's also another hardcore fan of the Avengers. He said, dude, listen up. It's like, does Disney even need to market this movie? I mean, they have created a legacy. They have created a buzz that started off 10 years ago with Iron Man. So do they even need to market this movie? People are automatically going to talk about it. They're automatically going to go and watch this movie. In fact, if you actually Google search or check Wikipedia, the top 10 Marvel movies have raked in $12.49 billion. 12.409 billion. That's more or less the exact amount. If you check Avengers, the highest one was, let's go to the top 10. The 10th one being Guardians of the Galaxy, $863 million. Spider-Man Homecoming, $880 million. Spider-Man Part 3, $890. Captain Marvel, $1.9 billion. I didn't watch that movie. I don't know. I just hated Captain Marvel. Even the trailers, I didn't watch the movie. I don't know. Do you think it's nice? Then you have Captain America, $1.1 billion. Iron Man 3, 1.2 billion. Black Panther 1.3, again overhyped movie. You can check my review on that. Age of Ultron, Avengers 1.4 billion. The Avengers, the first one, 1.5 billion. And Avengers Infinity War 2.04 billion. So the top 10 movies itself crossed the total 12.409 billion. So this one is supposed to cross all of it. Okay, that is what it's supposed to do. So there was this secretive feel to it. Now, so even when I searched just few hours before going to watch the movie, I'm always curious. There was hardly anything. Even on RottenTomatoes.com, there was nothing. But nothing escapes the internet. There were Twitter reviews that said this movie made me cry. It was nothing like the predecessor. Don't go expecting it to be what you thought it would be. So the movie was emotional. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll mentally prepare myself for an emotional movie. So the Avengers movie, if I were to give you an entire snapshot in just 2 lines, I would say this is a movie that, obviously continues from the previous one. And the central story is how can they undo the damage that was done by Thanos. Okay, that's the entire movie. So what did I love about the movie? I think the storyline was absolutely suspenseful. The directors managed to hold people right for those 3 hours. The script was very engaging. It was very intelligent. The dialogues in this time, the movie it gives ample time for each of the character to develop and gives great dialogues. The characterization of each and every important core character is done really well. I would say the prime focus were the heroes, the main heroes who are living, not the ones who are dead in Infinity Wars. In fact, I think the question kept popping up, even though they didn't ask explicitly, would you gamble things that are most important to you, like your family, your values, your children, your loved ones, just to save the world? Would you do that like Thanos had done? Because this time around, it's Iron Man who has to make that call. And the movie is peppered with lots of humor throughout, which I felt was really good. The class clowns were Ant-Man, the Hulk, and to my biggest surprise, the biggest character surprise was Thor. It was just unbelievable. From being this majestic, blonde-haired, six-pack guy with this amazing physique, they just transformed him into this beer-guzzling, big fat guy. And he played the role pretty well. I would say that Thor, Hemsworth really did justice to it. I loved the way the main characters fought themselves by going to the past. I especially loved the part where they would go to the past and you'd remember parts of the movies that you've seen in the past, like the Avengers, those scenes, Captain America, the Civil War. You'd just reflect and think, sheesh, I saw this part of the movie. And this is the part where he fights, Captain America being in that elevator, then Hulk, watching Hulk smash. Those were really nice. And even Iron Man walking down the lift, and what's his name? This guy, Thor's cousin, I can't get his name. Loki, how he manages to trick them. It was really nice. Hulk taking the stairs. So I found that really good. Thanos himself, this time they didn't give him much screen time, but I liked the part of him being as a retired soldier or a warlord and coming back again. And I think the main suspense of the movie began once Thanos intercepted the plan and he came back into the future to prevent the heroes of the future taking over. The war scene was pretty epic. You must watch it large screen. There's no excuse for that. And it was more like Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars. And without a doubt, the central character of the entire movie was and is Iron Man. So what surprised me? Well, the movie was emotional. The emphasis on love, family, emotions, relationships, the amount of time, effort, dedication, creativity, and absolute obsession to the script, the Marvel series, right from the time they were released, and how they remained true to it, like Captain America saying "Hail Hydra," or Iron Man, having to choose between good and bad, between sacrificing himself the details of the Avengers going into the past. I mean, there were so many parts which really ring a bell. Another part that I really loved was Tony Stark meeting his daughter, Tony Stark meeting his father, Howard, and having the last conversation. That was really touching. I love the part where Thor met his mum, and his mom says, "Listen, Thor, I'm from the future. How, I'm fat. How did she get me?" And she's like, "I'm a witch. I have those powers. I know you're from the future." Iron Man, Tony Stark hugging Spider-Man, which was, a flashback of when he was trying to open the door and, Peter Parker thinks he's hugging him, but he says, "No, I'm just trying to open the door." But this time he really hugs him. Then Iron Man's death and obituary and says proof that Tony Stark has a heart. And Rogers choosing to go back in time to spend time with Carter, with the one woman that he loved. In fact, the direction that they took Hulk, Thor, and Iron Man as characters, I felt was really great. And yes, as a bonus, Michael Douglas looking young, that was done pretty well. Is what is worth watching again? I would say the whole movie is worth watching at least 3 times, because that much of effort has been put. So many details are there. It's like there are too many. The epic war is worth watching over and over again. I mean, all the single moments where the superheroes make these difficult choices, I mean, is worth watching. In fact, even the women, all the women heroes coming together, and Spider-Man saying, "I can't protect this glove," and all these women coming and says, "Yes, we would." So that was also worth watching. But like I said, the whole movie is worth watching, not once, not twice, but more than 3 times. So, and just as a bonus, the placement of the products, Audi driven by Iron Man, and Thor playing, I think that was PUBG. He was playing that game, so that was like great product placements. Did I miss any others? You can let me know. Drawbacks of the movie, if you want me to admit, drawback of the movie, there was one massive in-your-face drawback. That was Captain Marvel. Her presence was hyped up so much in the previous movie, Infinity War, so I thought she was going to play a major presence. But she didn't do anything. It was like, why the fuck do you market her so much? The only thing that Captain Marvel did do was destroy Thanos' ship, and that was the turning point. But I just felt Captain Marvel didn't add any value. Her personality was totally inconsistent. She lacked chemistry. I mean, she's just a dead weight over there. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against women, strong women characters, but hers was just hogwash. If you think I don't like women characters, Wonder Woman, which is DC, she had much more charisma and onstage presence. But this one, Captain Marvel, was well, yuck. So if you want the biggest drawback, I would say that was Captain Marvel. The only other drawback that I could think of is I felt that the directors were trying to put too many things in the 3-hour movie. This is a movie that could easily have gone for 6 hours. The amount of detail, the amount of stories, the amount of loose ends that the director was trying to close. Don't get me wrong, they did a fantastic job, but it was too much. It was too much. That is why I'm telling you, you need to watch, if you're a hardcore fan, you need to watch it more than 3 times. They put too much of everything. In one way, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the attention to detail, but then it was too much. It was really too much. And even for the hardcore Avengers fan, they would need to watch it more than twice or thrice, I would say. Thrice at least. So that's the only drawback that I could say. First one is Captain Marvel, which is without a doubt, it's a big one. The other one is putting in too much. But having said that, I would just say, as a conclusion that, these are movies that come once in a lifetime. You had the Star Wars in the 70s when it came up. George Lucas, that was a game changer. You had the Matrix trilogy, you had the Lord of the Rings, and now you have the Avengers, which took a span of 10 years to make. So I would say that this was absolutely a worthwhile ending to a great saga. And what would the future hold? Let's see, maybe new heroes, maybe a reunion of the Avengers after another 10 years. But this was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I'm glad it happened during my generation. So overall, like I said, I would say that this is a great movie for the fans, for the Avenger fans, for the hardcore. but a good movie for the moviegoers. Now, why do I say good movie, not great movie? Because if you're a normal Avengers fan, if you're a normal moviegoer, you'll be just confused. What are they doing here? You'll miss out so many things. So that is why I said it's a good movie. It's not a great movie, especially because the director started putting too much. So that's why I said it's a good movie, not a great movie. So, and yeah, after the movie ends, during the credits, after the credits, do sit down and wonder why. Okay, that's all I'll leave you with. But there was a noise, although I was wondering what was that. So just let me know. Let me know what do you think if you sat down right up to the end and you heard that noise. So was it just me or did you also hear it? Overall, I would say that I'm going to watch this movie at least another 2 more times. I don't know if I'm going to watch it in a theater, but when it does get released, I'll watch it another 2 more times. So did I miss anything? Do you agree with my views? What do you think about the movie? Let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, I always respond to it. Good, bad, ugly, I'd love to hear from you. So also, if you think I have different points of view, do check my, that was the Black Panther, which I felt was overhyped. Check that movie review out. It's on my website. I don't know, did I put up video? And also do check out Star Wars, which was, I felt they killed it after George Lucas sold it to Disney. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is me signing off for now. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.